All right, this is Kevin Harris with Architect Talk, Fix the Floor Plan Live, and I've just gone through floor plan an existing 1920s house in Louisiana. As wood frame. It has a basement. It's 2 stories, and then here's the floor plan of the main floor, and here's the floor plan that we recommended that the owners pursue. And what we were able to do is take the existing historical house and reconfigure some things. We took out a few walls, took out a bathroom that was in the middle of the space and just very awkward, a dysfunctional kitchen, and add a new kitchen, convert this area to a bathroom, have the shower as part of one of these. There's 3 fireplaces that back to back and use the same chimney, and they're beautiful, very tight little fireplaces. They all work, but I was going to close off one, but use the mantle in the shower as a shelf to hold soaps and things. So, was there anything you had to have the Historic Commission look at? The exterior is what we had to have to go through and we still have to do that through the Historic Commission. But so far, I think we're in good shape. Contact you for new windows and doors. Very good, Jeff. Let me see. So this is a current house or project, and I've gone through, fixed the floor plan. We had issues with the existing house on the kitchen, the powder room. There was no downstairs primary bedroom or closet space or anything like that. And so what we proposed doing was taking out a few walls, rearranging things, taking the addition, which was done in probably the 1960s, which was a den in the back, and then take about half of it and create that to a butler's pantry and a powder room. Jeff, who are you with on your doors and windows? Do you do custom doors and windows? All right. So where are you located, Jeff, with the windows? All right. Let me see. You can help with custom units, okay? Because most of what we do, most of the work that I do, we end up with custom doors and windows because the windows have to fit the function, they have to fit the proportions of the style, and all of that good stuff. So you're on the East Coast, great. Have you done anything in the Gulf states? Because that's where I am. I'm actually in Louisiana, and you do a lot of historic restoration. Fabulous, Jeff. Uh, Love to check out my website and contact me. I'd love to chat with you about restoring historic windows on houses, because that's a big thing, and I would much prefer restoring them than ripping them out. Did you enjoy your time in college while studying architecture? Yes, I did, Nate. I had a great time. I actually was in a fraternity. I raced this Flying Dutchman sailboat nationally, and then when I had to, I'd stayed up late at night working on architecture. But I loved it, and I still love it. I'm almost 70. I'll be 70 in July this year. I have no intention of retiring anytime soon, and love what I'm doing. So, it's Nate, are you in architectural school? And if you are, where? Please let me know. Okay, Jeff, you're in sales, but you can help me with new windows remotely. Well, yes, you can. With new projects, we do custom windows and doors, and I'll send me your information, and we'll put you on the list to check out. Okay, civil engineer. All right, love civil engineers. We need more of them working in residential. I would love to have more engineers involved in residential. Uh, Ivan, great profession, great profession. All right. Any other questions on design, architecture, or this particular project that I've gone through and discussed? I'd be happy to do it. And if not, I will. My next TikTok live will be in 2 weeks. Uh, so uh, it starts at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. I usually get on about 20 to 30 minutes earlier. So it'll be on the 29th of this month, April, April 29th, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'll do another fix the floor plan. If we have time, I will do a curb appeal and show you about the floor plan. Which one is existing? This is existing. This is proposed. I got rid of the word existing underneath here because they didn't have room within the slide here, the scene, to show both existing and proposed. But this is the before and after, if you will. All right. Where does the bed go in the bedroom? There's any number of rooms. It can go on this wall. I don't recommend it goes on that wall. I'd recommend it go on this wall and have a seating over here next to this window. At any rate, there's a tool that can help count the material and blueprints. Yes, yes. Most CAD programs will allow you to measure and do quantity takeoffs. If you do enough repetitive work, you can actually, the CAD program, if you do it in BIM, it counts up, or it can count up the square footage or linear footage of moldings and all your materials. So yes. Cecilia Gorilla, thank you for your compliments. Non-architect here. All right. Well, architecture is a great profession. But all right. What does someone mean by the measurement of the fence runs? It's how long the fence is. So how big a fence is or how many square feet is going to be a function of the length and the height of the fence. So what is the name of the app to count material? Well, if you're drawing it up, the person you have that's drafting it or drawing your project can measure the project, measure the materials, or count the square footages and that sort of thing. I use ArchiCAD, ARCHICAD. It's a BIM program, and ArchiCAD actually I can either print it on paper or I can print a 3D model in a program that's called BIMX, BIMX. And in BIMX, which I give my clients, I give it to the contractor, I give it to the subcontractors. And they can take one of my drawings, and on the screen, there's a little measurement tool, and they can dot here, and dot here, or measure the square footage of the room or the size of the walls and all that sort of thing. And they'll get it right there from they can do it from their cell phone or their iPad if they want. Okay, is having a wet floor more costly for the bathroom? It depends on the floor you put in your bathroom, but wood on the floor in the bathroom tends to get messed up. It doesn't age well with all the water. So, and is there a way to prevent odor from your drain? Yes, there's lots of ways, but one is to make sure water goes through your drain, and with your drain and your shower or in the middle of a bathroom, it's called a P-trap. And a P-trap is the water comes in, goes down, around, and down to the sewer. And the P-trap is full of water. And what the water does is it prevents the gas from the sewer coming into the bathroom, all right, which you don't want to have. And so sometimes this P-trap, if there's not enough movement of water through there, then you get smells from the drain. Another way to prevent smells and odors in a bathroom is to have an exhaust fan. I live in Louisiana, and we have very high humidity content in the air. And so when you take a shower, the whole bathroom gets steamy, if you will. And so I have exhaust fans in all of our bathrooms that are activated by a humidistat. So when the humidity gets to a certain level, you can turn the light switch off. The fan still stays on until it exhausts enough air and moisture to lower the humidity content. And so then you don't have a lot of mold and mildew growing in your bathrooms. Uh, how long did it take you to get your license and graduate? It took me 5 years to graduate as an undergraduate. Then I went to graduate school for 2 years. I taught for a year, and then got my license. I was on the sort of the fast track, but you can, if you have an alternate to doing both undergraduate and graduate in architecture, you can do your undergraduate anything you want, build a good portfolio of drawings and sculptures or whatever it is that artistically that you like to create. Get into an architectural school that offers architecture as a graduate program, and then you can, in 3 to 3.5 years, uh, get a licensable. I mean, it's an accredited degree in architecture, and get your license from there and practice architecture. So you can shorten the time frame if you want, but you still need to get a good liberal education as an undergraduate in order to do that approach. You're looking into what further your education in the engineering architectural field. Any suggestions? Well, what sort of engineering architecture are you interested in? Because if you want to be more engineer than architect, then what sort of engineer? I mean, Columbia University has this fabulous program in architectural conservation, and so they teach their students the chemical compositions of bricks and how bricks decay and how stones decay and brick mortar and all of these things. And they're wonderfully very knowledgeable with historic preservation, and it's very good. So that's a lot of engineering, a different aspect of engineering. If it's structural that you're interested in, then there's certainly different programs that'll help you with that. So, what's the average cost per square foot nowadays to build a second story? Well, most of the contractors I deal with charge the same for the first floor as the second floor. So, and it's going to vary wildly. Depends on the materials, depends on the labor, and the design that you put in there. And so and it varies from a few $100s a square foot to over $1,000 a square foot. So it's you can't say a house costs X dollars per square foot. You can check with your realtors, check on the newspaper, and see how big a house is and how many square feet it is, and do the math, and that'll tell you how much it is. Of course, the lot's got to include the lot with that price. Does the door hit the freestanding tub? No, it does not. It just barely clears it. That's why I moved the opening over. This used to be a double-sized opening, and I moved it over in order to the door to not hit the shower and not hit the tub. But very good question. Very, very good question. I like that. The door in the new bath should also be a pocket door. Stick with the Craftsman and save floor space. I would that's an option too. Make this a pocket door. That'd be great on either one of these bathrooms. That'd be good. Very good comment. All right. What degree would you recommend for an established interior designer? Is there associates? As far as an established interior designer, I can tell you from my own experience, if I want to do a lovely home, if I don't have an interior designer involved, I'm not going to be able to take pictures of it and get my house published and get more work from that project. So what I would recommend is to check in with your local Institute for Classical Architecture and Art and see what sort of courses they have. You can always, it's an educational nonprofit group, but they charge membership if you want to get into it, and they have seminars, and you can actually get a certificate in classical architecture, which would help you design and give you criteria to help design and proportion your interiors, and it's an integral part to architecture. So If as an established interior designer, that's great. I greatly appreciate good interior designers. Do I use Bluebeam for estimating? I do not. Uh, I do not. What I do with estimating is I think architects are terrible at estimating because we're dreaming. If we're designing, we're dreaming. And so what I do is I'll solve the floor plan, the functional parts of the floor plan with the owner at schematic design. And I stop and I ask the owners to pick a contractor. Then I will meet with the contractor and the major subcontractors for that contractor and then go through, uh, I call it design development, but we'll do a very detailed cost estimating. This works only if you pick one contractor, because then it becomes open book to the owner, and the owner gets the education of how much all these things cost or are likely to cost. And then if it's more than their budget, then we can scale it down before any harm is done. The benefit to the contractor is he bids the project, but he's the contractor or she's the contractor unless something goes wrong or the project doesn't happen. But this is a modified design build process. I have no intention of being a builder. I have my plate full with just being an architect. But I love being able to involve the contractor and the subcontractors, especially the craftsmen, early in the process so that the owner can understand and appreciate uh, the dollars that quality costs. And so they get to pick what level of quality they're willing to pay for, or that they can pay for with their budget. And the goal always is a forever home with the stuff that we do. All right, tiny homes. How much would the drawing on the left hold cost? Let me see. Well, this was an existing house that we did, and so we don't we only do custom work. So we don't do we're not like a drafting service that we'll draw up a house and we'll sell it to as many people as we can. It's one at a time. But thank you for the question. Let me see. Would you be able to look at the house plans I made for my future home? Michael, that's my business. That's how I make money. So sure, check out my website. It's kevinharrisarchitects.com. And understand that I'm an architect. I call myself an architect. So I can only practice architecture in states that I'm licensed in. And I'm currently licensed in the 5 states that face the Gulf of Mexico. That's Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. And I've chosen those states because they all have the same challenges or similar challenges of high winds, i.e., hurricanes. We've got humidity, high humidity, and it changes. And the way you design buildings to last is very, very different in South Louisiana than it is in, say, New England. Although you have lovely buildings in both places, underneath the skin, you've got to design it very, very differently. And then we also have voracious bugs. We have termites that will, if you're not careful, the legs on your chair will be eaten through, while you're having dinner. So, and there are ways to certainly deal with and control and design for those 3 forces. And so that's why I picked those. Do I accept work in Dallas? Absolutely. I was in Dallas. I enjoyed the total eclipse of the sun 2 weeks or last week in Dallas. I was in Plano and I just enjoyed a glorious time. Now, the next day it was rainy and you couldn't see a thing, but I enjoyed a great time in Dallas. But sure, I am licensed in Texas, and I actually have a daughter that lives in Dallas. Where's the water heater and furnace coil unit go? Is there an attic? There's a second floor. There's also a basement here, and so all of that stuff, the water heater and the blower and all that stuff is in the attic. I mean, in the basement here, and then on the attic, the same thing for on the second floor that comes down from the ceiling. It'll be your first home, and we're super excited to customize it to be our forever home. Wonderful. Then check out my website, Michael. I'd love to chat with you. And then advice you can get is if you go on Amazon, this is my book, The Forever Home. It's how to work with an architect to design the home of your dreams. And what this book does is it gives you advice that I've given clients over 42 years. The pictures, granted, the pictures are my work, but the text in the book is not about my work. It's not about the pictures. The book is about advice I've given to clients over 43 years. And I start off with, what is a forever home? Do you even need an architect? And the answer is you don't, but the more important your house is, the more advisable it would be to use an architect. How to design a house that is for you. There's no house without you. I talk about my design process, the team, how to build the team, because the team is not just the architect, it's the architect, the owner, hopefully the landscape architect, and the interior designer, all collaborating together to give you an amazing home that is your forever home. I talk about the construction process, how to pick a contractor. If you're going to do a new house, that's one way. If you're going to do a renovation, that's another way. And you can still get your forever home. Where can you buy the book? It's on Amazon. Check it out. It's The Forever Home by Kevin Harris. Or make your library buy it. Yeah, that'll work too. The last chapter is a four-letter word, COST, and that chapter is all about, without mentioning the names of clients, ways clients throughout the decades have tried to save money on their construction. Everybody wants to get the most for the least, and I'm in that same boat. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So that chapter, I talk about things to be careful for. Hammer, thank you. You looked at the book, and now all your clients retain you. That's great. Hammer, I love Maryland, love the architecture there. I have two son-in-laws. I have three daughters, and two of them married boys from Baltimore, which is in Maryland. And I love your crab cakes. Great food. Anyway, uh, Kevin, if you've got a blueprint for a house you want to build, get in my on my website. But again, I've got to warn you, I'm only licensed in 5 states. Since I call myself an architect, I can only give advice in the states that face the Gulf of Mexico. But if you're in one of those states, it's Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, one of those, I'd be happy to send it to me, and we can do a design consult for you. Be happy to. I'll get in trouble if I call myself an architect and I'm not licensed in your state. So that's the problem. So you just bought a copy, Christine. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, contact me and I'll be happy to answer them. So, but thank you for getting the book. Yeah, it's actually, Christine, get on my website and send me a note. There's a little application form, but just tell me what you're looking for. But send me a note and I will send you a book plate that I'll sign for you. And you can, it's already got sticky, glue on it. So you peel it back like a sticker and you can put it in your book. And so you'll have a signed copy. So thank you. Thank you for getting the book. Can you design the most chaotic 1-bedroom apartment? Yeah, check a dorm, those are great. And as far as 1-bedroom apartments, I think the most chaotic 1-bedrooms are sailboat cabins, all right? Especially during a storm. It's pretty chaotic, pretty frenetic. Can you please do a design consultation? I do those every week. You want to remodel your home and don't know where to start. Well, Tara, that's what I do. I was a university professor for 10 years at LSU, and then I started doing residential renovations, lots of design consults. I've given lectures across the country on trying to teach other architects how to do design consults. But it takes just a few hours to do it. But if I need a floor plan to do a design consultation, And there's a wonderful way you can get your own floor plan and send it to me. And it's using LIDAR, LIDAR, and it's on your cell phone as well as your iPad has a laser to do it. So after TikTok, oh yeah, actually this particular floor plan, a client saw me on TikTok, got in touch with me, and used their iPad to measure their house and send it off to canvas.io, and I received a 3D model of the house on the computer, which I imported into my BIM program, called them up on the phone. We did a Zoom meeting, and I talked to them about their house, their needs. I already had it in 3D, and then we solved the problem, and this is how we came up with it. But I need to make clear that I do charge for design consults, right? And so it takes a long time. It's taken me 43 years to get as good as I am. I'll be better next year. But it takes a long time to learn how to be an architect and learn how to come up with these different solutions. And I have to tell you that just because you come up with one solution, it doesn't work all the time. So you've got to approach each house fresh, and you've got to approach each pair of clients fresh because each one is very different, and it keeps my life very interesting, and that's why I don't want to retire. I'm just loving it. So Terry, get on my website, and you can send me a note, please. Your home renovation. Send you a note this evening. Thank you, Shay. I'm gonna go home after this, so I will check back with you tomorrow. But thank you. You send the note tonight. A lot of new builds in Las Vegas are awful. Las Vegas doesn't have the corner of that market. Awful is everywhere, I'm afraid. And I've actually I've had one client who wanted to show me how ugly the houses were in Houston, and he didn't want any of those. I said, well, then don't show me 2,000 ugly houses. Just show me the ones you like, and we'll try to emulate those. Uh, at any rate, I agree with you. There's a lot of houses in many cities, and Las Vegas is certainly one of them, where they're uninspired, and the market and the culture drive what's in a house. So if people would quit buying ugly houses, all right, or uninspired houses, I guarantee you the developers would figure out what it is they need to improve to make them saleable and make people want to buy them. John Lehman, I love John Lehman. All right, Hammer in Maryland, tell John hi for me. Tell him that uh, uh, you did a TikTok live with Kevin Harris. John Lehman, I met John at Cran, and let's see, we were I think in the Illinois governor's mansion, and John was made the honorary governor for the day. So it was wonderful. But tell John hi for me, please. Uh, so as far as houses all being the same, variety is the spice of life. Come on, we're not all bottle. We're not fluid Coke, so a Coca-Cola bottle won't hold us all. We're all different, and I think your house should reflect who you are, what you believe in, where you've been, and what you value. And that's otherwise just live in an apartment, at any rate. But that's me, and I believe in the forever home, one that fits you like a glove, and one that you don't want to sell because you like it too much. Nothing else is going to be quite so nice. One of the things I think important is that the architect should talk with the client about the budget. Absolutely, you start off with talking about the budget, but just because you talk about the budget doesn't. It's like going to Santa Claus and saying, "Okay, Santa, here's my budget, but I want a bike, I want a a bunch of other things, but I still have my budget." Well, you work with it. And so what I do is I talk with both the husband and the wife, or if they're partners, both partners, and I make sure that they're aware and they're on the same page as far as how much they want to spend. But and I tell them that I will guarantee whatever we draw will be beautiful. And if they go through the process that we do, that they will only pay what it costs to build their house. However, I can't guarantee the price. That's from the contractor. And that's why I bring in the contractor at schematic design. So, uh, uh, husband and wife or partner and partner have to be involved, have to be in the communications throughout the whole schematic and pricing and final design process. It can't be just one or the other. And you can't have the husband come in and say, all right, well, here's my budget. And then the wife comes in and says, well, here's what I want. Well, they have to come together. And so it's a negotiation, and it's a process that any other architects who are thinking about getting into residential design understand that you need to. There's no bad guys just because something costs more than somebody wants to spend. Uh, the uh, the cost is things cost what they cost. Good work for a fair price cost. And so, if you have an open book process, which we recommend going through with a selected contractor from schematics through construction, same contractor, and they give you the cost feedback. The person who's best qualified to give you a cost for a piece of scope of work is the person that's going to do the work, all right? Not someone who's going to look at a booklet and say, oh, well, bricks are so many dollars a square foot. Yeah, but what about bricks that are in a certain pattern? Well, the books don't cover that, right? So it's going to be anything that's custom breaks the mold from all of these books. So cautionary tale, have everybody, all the players involved as much as you can throughout the process. So do I know any architects in Las Vegas? I do, but I have to go get in my Rolodex. But what I can tell you is call your local AIA chapter, all right, and ask them for CRAN architects that are CRAN members, CRAN, and it's a uh, custom residential architects network. And there are, we've had a CRAN conference actually in Las Vegas, and there's there's tons of are dozens of really talented residential architects in Las Vegas, and you can get in touch with them. So please check the AIA chapter and ask them for CRAN members in the Las Vegas area. And let me see, Rolodex is a boomer thing. I'm a baby boomer. I was born in 1954, and so a Rolodex is a list of cards that have the names and phone numbers and addresses of everybody you know or you want to get in touch with. And so uh, I use Outlook now, really, instead of Rolodex, but I still use that same term. I call my refrigerator an icebox, right? But I inherited that from my parents. So, all right. So let me see. Speed, quality, price. You can only have two. That's correct. You get to pick two. All right. And so, with in my book, I call it's the iron triangle. The iron triangle, all right? And so you've got cost, you've got time, how long it takes, and then you've got quality. And the sad news about this is you only get to pick two. So which two of these would you like? Would you like the cost and the time? Then you sacrifice quality. Or if you want high quality and low cost, and you control those two, great, you can do that. It's going to take you a lot longer. And you can do it, but it will take a long time. So in my book, what is it, on page 161, I talk about the variables of time, budget, and quality. All right. And see all these circles inside there? That's the scope of work. So one way to keep, there's really four, in my point of view, there's four things, not just time, quality, and budget, but what it is you're going to contain with inside that triangle, and that area inside the triangle is represented by these circles. And I think of it like cue balls. So if you want to lower your budget but still do it the same amount of time and have high quality, then you're going to have to cut out some things. All right. So you reduce the scope of work versus just the quality, right, or just the time. So again, page 161 in my book, The Forever Home. That's the kind of advice I give. So thank you very much for that comment. And you get to control two of these: time, cost, or quality. But if you want to reduce the cost, you can also reduce the scope of work, right? Which I do SOW, or scope of work, right? So let me see. Do I take the 179D deduction? I do not. Tell me about it. I think it has to do with inventions and saving energy, that sort of thing. I do not. Cost and quality every time, Joshua. Yes, that's correct. That's what even the best contractors that do our projects, their time takes a little bit longer, and but they can give you better cost and certainly very, very good quality. See, the 179D deduction is for energy efficient commercial building properties. Okay, I do custom residential, so I don't even qualify for that. But thank you for the compliment. All right, good, cheap, or fast. All right, well, that's another way to say it, Mr. Car Guy. All right. In my experience, sacrifice the time. Well, it is like cheese. You see the commercials. Oh yeah. Well, what I have very few rules, in what you can see in my book, but one of them is if the bathroom is knocked out for the owners, if the primary bathroom is knocked out, and the kitchen is knocked out, you have to leave. You cannot live there during construction because if it's a renovation, because there's too much collateral damage with the contractor and the architect and everybody that's working on the house. The other rule I have is don't ever race a baby. The baby always wins. If you check my TikToks, I've got a series that's Race the Baby. My own daughter, my youngest daughter, decided to race the baby, and she swears that the baby won. There's a few punchless items left after the baby came. Yeah, well, the baby came. The baby's lovely. We love her, but the punchless items, yeah, the house was not done. The baby won. Right. So anyway, so it takes time. It takes time. Thank you, Race Car Guy, for the compliment. Appreciate it. This is Kevin Harris. April 29th is the next TikTok Live. It'll be at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Look forward to, please join me then. Have some more questions for me. Be happy to answer them. And I'm going to talk about fixing a floor plan. And if I have time, I'll go ahead and add to it the facade, and how do I recommend that we get into some geometry and improve the facade and what it looks like. So thank you again. And this is Kevin Harris, Architect Talk out. Thank you.